Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a crowded street. Hundreds of eyes are watching you. A stranger steps in front of you, points at your sword, and smiles. If you're really a warrior, he says, kill me. Then he takes one step closer. But if you don't have the courage, crawl between my legs. The crowd bursts into laughter. Your pride is on the line. Your reputation, your future. What would you do? Most people would fight. This young man did something that shocked everyone. He bent down and crawled beneath the bully's legs. People called him a coward. Years later, those same people would call him one of the greatest generals in Chinese history. His name was Han Xin, and his greatest victory began with his greatest humiliation. 斯兰丹人, a forgotten young man. Before Han Xin became a legend, he was invisible. He wasn't born into a noble family. He wasn't wealthy. He had no powerful friends. Most people saw him as nothing, more than a poor young man, wandering through the streets. But Han Xin believed something that nobody else could see. He believed he was destined for something greater. Every day he carried a sword at his side, not because he wanted to scare people, but because in his heart he dreamed of becoming a great military commander. He spent countless hours studying ancient battle strategies, while others chased money or comfort. Han Xin chased knowledge. Yet there was one problem. Dreams don't impress hungry people. In the eyes of the town, he wasn't a future general. He was simply a poor man pretending to be important. People whispered when he walked by. There goes the dreamer. He thinks carrying a sword makes him a hero. He's all talk. Han Xin heard every word, but he kept walking. 二等点就与之往天，为这个书墨听汤课 Namita Skoi Tews. One afternoon, everything changed. Han Xin was walking through a busy marketplace. Merchants shouted. Children played. Travelers filled the streets. Then a local bully stepped into his path. This man was known for humiliating people in public. He looked at Han Xin's sword and laughed. So, you carry a weapon every day. Are you actually brave? The crowd immediately stopped to watch. The bully spread his arms. If you have courage, draw your sword. Kill me. He paused, then smiled. But if you don't dare, crawl between my legs. The marketplace fell silent. Han Xin looked around. Every face was waiting. Some expected a fight. Others wanted entertainment. Everyone believed they already knew what a real man should do. Han Xin slowly placed his hand on the handle of his sword. The bully grinned. The crowd leaned forward. For one brief moment, history could have taken a completely different path. Han Xin could have drawn his sword. He might have won the fight. He might have protected his pride. Or he might have killed a man in broad daylight and lost the future that was waiting for him. Instead, he made a choice that no one expected. Without saying a single word, Han Xin lowered his head, knelt down, and crawled beneath the bully's legs. For a second, there was complete silence. Then the laughter exploded. People pointed at him. Some clapped. Others mocked him openly. Look at the coward. He carries a sword, but doesn't have the courage to use it. Remember this day. Han Xin stood up quietly. He brushed the dust from his clothes. He looked at no one, and without speaking a single word, he walked away. The people watching believed they had just witnessed the most humiliating moment of a weak man's life. They had no idea they had just witnessed the first step toward greatness. For many years after that day, people continued laughing at Han Xin. Whenever someone mentioned his name, they remembered only one thing: the man who crawled beneath another man's legs. No one cared about his dreams. No one believed in his talent. To the world, he had already been judged. And once people decide who you are, they rarely look for evidence that they might be wrong. But Han Xin never tried to defend himself. He never walked through the town explaining his decision. He never argued with those who mocked him. Instead, he quietly kept preparing. He studied military strategy. He memorized ancient campaigns. He imagined battles that had never been fought. While everyone else saw a coward, Han Xin was training to command armies because he understood something most people never do. Winning an argument can satisfy your pride, but preparing for your future can change your life. Not long afterward, the mighty Qing dynasty collapsed. China was thrown into chaos. Kingdoms rose, kingdoms fell. Every ambitious leader searched for talented men. For Han Xin, this was the opportunity he had been waiting for. He joined the army under Liu Bang, a leader who would later become the founding emperor of the Han dynasty. Han Xin believed his years of study would finally matter. He believed someone would recognize his ability. But reality was disappointing. No one noticed him. He was given small, unimportant jobs. He carried supplies. He followed orders. He watched less capable men receive promotions. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. Each time he offered ideas, they were ignored. To the generals, he was just another ordinary soldier. The man who dreamed of commanding armies could barely command attention. Many people would have quit. Many would have blamed the world. Others would have become bitter. Han Xin did none of those things. He waited. Eventually, disappointment became too much. Han Xin made a decision. If no one here could see his value, he would leave. Late one night, while the camp was asleep, he quietly packed his belongings and walked away. He disappeared into the darkness. To almost everyone, his departure meant nothing, just another soldier leaving. No one cared, except one man, a government official named Xiao He. Unlike everyone else, Xiao He had been watching Han Xin carefully. He had listened when others ignored him. He had noticed what others failed to see. He believed Han Xin possessed extraordinary talent. When Xiao He discovered Han Xin had left, he didn't wait until morning. He mounted his horse and rode into the night, through mountains, across rivers, following a man that everyone else considered unimportant. Hours passed. Finally, he found Han Xin. Han Xin looked surprised. "You came all this way." "For me?" Xiao He nodded. Then he said words that would change history forever. "If you only want an ordinary career, you may leave. But if you want to achieve greatness, come back with me. The world has not recognized you yet, but one day it will." Han Xin stood in silence. For the first time in many years, someone truly saw him. He turned around and rode back. Neither of them knew it that night, but their decision would shape the future of an empire. When Han Xin returned, Xiao He immediately requested an audience with Liu Bang. He spoke with unusual confidence. "There is a man in your army unlike anyone else. If you want ordinary victories, choose another general. But if you want to unite the entire kingdom, there is only one choice. Han Xin." Liu Bang laughed. "A man who carries supplies. A man with no reputation. You expect me to hand my army to him?" At first, Liu Bang refused. After all, great generals were supposed to look powerful. They came from noble families. They already had famous victories. Han Xin had none of those things. Only Xiao He refused to give up. For days, he continued persuading Liu Bang. Finally, Liu Bang agreed, though not because he believed Han Xin. He trusted Xiao He. And sometimes, one person's belief is enough to change another person's destiny. Han Xin was officially appointed commander. Many officers were furious. Who is this nobody? He has never led an army. This is madness. Some even refused to salute him. They saw only his past. They had no idea what was coming. Not long after, Han Xin faced his first great challenge. His army was smaller, less experienced, outnumbered. Even his own officers believed defeat was inevitable. The night before the battle, everyone expected Han Xin to prepare a safe retreat. Instead, he gave an unbelievable order. Tomorrow, we cross the river and destroy every bridge behind us. The officers stared at him. Some thought they had misheard. One finally asked, "If we destroy the bridges, how will we retreat?" Han Xin answered calmly, "We won't." The camp fell silent. There would be no escape, no second chance, no backup plan. Many believed their commander had gone insane. But Han Xin understood something about human nature. When people believe they still have an easy escape, they fight with only part of their strength. When survival is the only option, they discover strength they never knew they had. The next morning, his soldiers crossed the river. The bridges were destroyed. Behind them was water. In front of them stood a much larger enemy force. There was only one way home, forward. The battle lasted for hours. Again and again, the enemy expected Han Xin's soldiers to break, but they didn't, because there was nowhere to run. Every soldier fought as if his life depended on it, because it did. Against all expectations, Han Xin achieved one of the most astonishing victories in military history. The generals who had mocked him stood speechless. The officers who doubted him could no longer deny his brilliance. News of the victory spread across the kingdom. The poor young man, who had once crawled beneath a bully's legs, was now celebrated as the greatest military strategist of his generation. The world had not changed overnight. Han Xin had. Or perhaps he had been the same all along. The difference was this. Finally, the world was able to see what had always been there. Years passed. Han Xin became one of the most powerful generals in the land. His victories reshaped history. Kings sought his advice. Soldiers admired his leadership. The man who had once been mocked by an entire town was now feared across the kingdom. News of his success spread quickly. Eventually, it reached the same town where everything had begun, and it reached the ears of the bully, the man who had once laughed as Han Xin crawled beneath his legs. The moment he heard Han Xin was returning, he panicked. He remembered that afternoon. He remembered the laughter. He remembered the humiliation. He was certain his life was over. When Han Xin entered the town, the bully fell to his knees. His body trembled. "I deserve whatever punishment you choose," he whispered. The crowd gathered once again. Years earlier, they had gathered to watch a young man lose his dignity. Now they gathered to watch a powerful general take revenge. Everyone expected the same ending: violence, justice, revenge. Han Xin looked down at the man. Then he said something no one expected. "If I'd killed you that day, I might never have lived long enough to stand here today." The crowd stood in silence. Han Xin turned away and walked on. The bully was spared, not because he deserved mercy, but because Han Xin had stopped allowing his past to control his future. Many people hear this story and think it is about patience or forgiveness, but that is only part of it. The deeper lesson is about priorities. Every day, life invites us into small battles. Someone insults us online. A stranger questions our abilities. A coworker takes credit for our work. A family member misunderstands us. Our first instinct is to respond, to defend ourselves, to prove we are right. But here's the question Hanxin forces us to ask. Will winning this argument actually improve my life? Or will it only satisfy my pride for a few minutes? Hanxin understood something extraordinary. Not every battle deserves your energy. Some victories cost more than they are worth. He didn't refuse to fight because he was weak. He refused to fight because he was protecting something greater, his future. Think about social media. How many hours disappear every day because people argue with strangers? One comment becomes 10. 10 become 100. No minds are changed. No lives are improved. But time is gone forever. Or consider the workplace. Someone criticizes your idea in a meeting. Your first reaction is to defend yourself, to interrupt, to prove they are wrong. Sometimes that is necessary. But often, the people who rise the highest are not the loudest voices in the room. They are the people who stay focused on solving problems instead of winning arguments. The same is true in business. Some entrepreneurs spend more time trying to prove competitors wrong than serving customers. Some spend years chasing revenge instead of building something meaningful. In relationships, many couples don't separate because they stop loving each other. They separate because every disagreement becomes a contest. Someone has to win. Someone has to lose. But love was never meant to be a competition. The strongest people are rarely the ones who react the fastest. They are the ones who choose their battles carefully. Lesson 1. Protect your future more than your pride. Pride asked, "How dare they treat me like this?" Wisdom asks, "What choice gives me the best future?" The answer is not always the same. Lesson 2. Other people's opinions are temporary. The people who laughed at Hanxin believed they understood him. They were wrong. If Hanxin had lived according to their opinions, history would never have remembered his name. Never allow people who don't know your destination to decide your direction. Lesson 3. Greatness requires long-term thinking. Most people make decisions based on today's emotions. Great people make decisions based on tomorrow's goals. That is why they often look strange in the present, before they look brilliant in history. On that afternoon, the crowd believed Hanxin had lost. History tells a different story. The bully won a moment. Hanxin won a lifetime. That is the difference between reacting and choosing. Every one of us will face moments like his. Moments when anger feels justified, when revenge feels satisfying, when protecting our pride seems more important than protecting our future. When those moments come, remember the young man in the crowded street, the one who was willing to lose face so he would not lose his destiny. Welcome to Human Nature Chronicles. Here, we don't simply tell stories from history. We uncover the timeless patterns of human nature hidden inside them. Because although thousands of years have passed, people haven't changed as much as we think. If today's story gave you a new perspective, consider subscribing. Each week, we'll explore another ancient story that reveals a modern truth. Until next time, choose your battles wisely. Because the life you build tomorrow is often decided by the battle you refuse to fight today.